had $1 million restaurant before 35. I knew our product was going to be a smash. I have the best Nashville hot in San Diego.
Oh my gosh, that is so good.
I invented the Bombay Hot. I ate the wings. I go, I need to move it. I hate Noodle Nights. The food truck game makes me tired.
Right. You can literally smell the ocean.
You can smell
this restaurant.
It smells great.
What's up, everybody? We're out here in Mission Beach today. I'm here at Rosemarie's Burgers. Is it called Rosemarie's or just Rosemarie's Burgers?
Rosemary's, you got it.
There's no burgers afterwards, just Rosemarie's.
It could be either one.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But the DBA is Rosemary's.
Rosemary's, okay. Here with Nick, the owner. Nick's gonna tell us his full name because he told me it. I don't know how to pronounce it, so he's gonna take care of it for us. So introducing Mr. Nick over here.
Nick Balsamo. Balsamo. It's an Italian last name.
What's your middle name?
Anthony. My grandma was a Nicholas Anthony. Anthony, yeah. So that's, yeah. Rosemary was my grandmother.
There we go. Because I was going to bring that up. It's like, you mentioned your grandma.
Yeah.
So you said you got the whole idea.
She was my best friend, man.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy to look back. I really miss her. She was one of the first people that passed away in my life, kind of thing.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Where it hits you and you're like, oh my God, life is so short.
Right.
We're all full Sicilian. She's a very Sicilian grandmother. Like at U of A when I went to college, there was this dark tunnel that I'd go under after I took, it was like an Italian class. I went under. She called me, Nicholas, are you in the tunnel? I'm like, Grandma, yeah, I'm fine. She's from Brooklyn.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, you go in a tunnel in Brooklyn, you're like, all right, am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah. Okay. Do your thing.
All right,
Do your
cool.
thing.
I don't know.
Dude, so you're not even from San Diego then?
I'm not. No.
Okay. Take us back. Let's learn some history about you.
Yeah, sure. So I'm kind of from all over. My dad was in oil and gas, so we moved around a lot. I was born in Phoenix, but moved right away to Texas, where my brother Vinny was born.
Okay.
And then we all
great name, by the way.
Yeah, wonderful name. I was telling you earlier, I love that name. And then also Vinny's 11 months younger than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
dang, right after you?
Irish twins, but Italian.
Yeah.
And then I had my mom had twins in Omaha.
Wow.
So my dad started a natural gas company with some friends out in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
So we lived there for 8 years. Then we moved back to Houston, where I did the majority of, 4th grade to junior high. Okay. And then I finished my senior year in Phoenix, where I was born.
So when people ask you where you're from, what do you say?
Depends on where they're from. I'm literally, I say Houston, Phoenix.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I claim Houston and Phoenix because most of my childhood was spent in Houston. Yeah. But then also, now that I'm turning 40, it's like, shit, a great part of my life was also spent in Phoenix.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've also lived in Cincinnati, Dude,
you've been like basically American wide. I was gonna say worldwide, but it's like also nationwide.
Dude, I used to just be obsessed with the whole feeling of moving and experiencing something different.
Yeah.
Which kind of tied it all into food for me also.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay. Very cool, man. So going you said from Houston to Phoenix. So what brought you here to San Diego then?
San Diego, growing up in Phoenix, right? From senior year forward. It's a big thing. You know this. The Phoenicians come here every summer, right?
Yeah.
San Diego's 5 hours and 50 minutes away.
Yeah.
So we'd always come up vacationing here with my family. Just had such warm memories, specifically Mission Beach. And in this specific area.
Okay.
We used to get this little house on Capistrano on Mission Boulevard, and my whole family would come up. It'd be just like the only time when we're all together. Okay. We haven't had that in a long time, but it was awesome memories. I fell in love with San Diego. I always wanted to move here. Yeah. And my wife and I, it was my girlfriend at the time, finished doctorate school in Phoenix, and I convinced her. I said, we're gonna let's move to San Diego. Yeah. But it started with food. Okay. I went to OB Noodle House, and I had the wings. Steve, I love you. I had the wings in OB, Cable Street, with my buddy Mike Lepler. He lived in Ocean Beach. He goes, Nick, you got to try this place. Like, he knows I'm obsessed with food, a chef at the time. Like, hey, come on and sit down and eat. So I eat, and I go, I ate the wings. I go, dude, I need I need to move here. And then I went to the joint and it took me all the breweries.
Literally, so those wings is what like initiated. Let me come here.
I was
Wow.
like, if I could get these on a daily basis, which is why I gained 50 pounds, but if I get on a daily basis, boom, I'm in.
You know what I love from OB Noodle House? They also created Screwball whiskey, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that's like my favorite whiskey out
Peanut
there.
butter
My
shot.
family and my fiance, we all love that, right?
Yeah.
And then we went there, and I didn't know they have the creamy version of it because we're used to the one from
The peanut butter shot.
Yeah. Oh
Yes.
my gosh, that is
Dude,
so good.
it's epic.
I love peanut butter and just in a shot. It's dangerous too.
Have
because
you
it
had
hits
their
right away.
sizzling fish?
No.
Oh, dude, they do this sizzle because they do sizzling short ribs.
Okay.
And then they do sizzling fish.
Okay.
And it's such a sleeper. You get it, dude. There's lemongrass. It's so damn good.
Yeah.
Definitely, we got to go eat that.
So it's funny because we're here at your restaurant, but we're talking about OB Noodle House right
I'll
now.
talk about food all day long. OB Noodle
Love
House
that.
is amazing.
Love that. Yeah, that's awesome, man. So what inspired you to start cooking then?
So I've cooked my whole life, especially growing up. My best friends and neighbors in Houston were from Hong Kong, and my godfather and my godmother, Art Fong and Teresa Fong, own this restaurant that's now famous. They're on Burgerland with George Mott's.
Wow.
It's called Stanton City Bites.
Yeah.
And
Wait, so are you part Asian, man?
I am.
Okay.
Inside. Inside. And
It's all mental state. That's all that matters.
my best friend Ting's from Taiwan, and he'll tell you,
Oh my
Nick's
gosh.
more Asian than me. He's Italian, and I'm Asian. You know?
Yeah.
Inside. So anyway, I grew up cooking at their burger spot. Like my mom and Teresa would go to Hong Kong, and then Art would be running the kitchen, and Jonathan Fong, one of my best friends, who was 3 years older than me, him and I would run the line and get yelled at because we were doing goofy things at 14 or whatever. You know how old.
Yeah.
And then I've always had a restaurant job, always.
Wow, okay.
So when my grandma Rosemarie passed away, I decided, I was doing the military stuff and defense contracting, and I was like, not really that happy in life right now with that. And so when she passed, I was like, wow, I only really have one life, and it kind of hit me, and just decided to go to culinary school in Cincinnati, and then after that, Hong Kong and and Phoenix. I cooked in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Just kind of wherever people. I also went to Nashville and used to stodge. I would stodge, which most chefs these days they don't even know
What is stodge? I don't even know what that is, man.
Chefs these days, the young chefs, they don't even know what that means because nobody does it anymore. Not really. Maybe at badass restaurants like Cali, I would stodge there. Shit, right now, Chef Chavez, I would stodge. No, but like, it was like you work for free. You work a couple shifts just to learn, just to be a part of it. And then sometimes they'll be like, okay, you were good. We're going to hire you on. So I used to go to Nashville and
Work for free.
it was stodge. And then also in Ohio, one of my mentors was Todd Hudson. He owns this restaurant called Wildflower in downtown Mason. It's a farm to table. This guy literally started at 35, had $1 million restaurant before 35, top 40 chefs in the country for a long time. He's brilliant. And he didn't go to culinary school. He's just honestly kind of like a farm boy in a way. And worked at country clubs and just loved food. And I painted doors for him. Like I served, like whatever.
Wow.
Hey, put me in, coach, like whatever. So I think I had a lot of experience fast and became obsessed with the industry.
Yeah. I think you bring up stodging, or is it plural?
Stodge.
Stodge.
Yeah,
Wait, can it be stodging?
It's a French term.
Is it a verb? I can say stodging.
You can say stodging.
The only reason I bring that up is because that's one thing I always push for people who like want to get in business, who want to start pushing stuff. You do stuff for free at first, right?
You have to.
So you learn from basically the masters, right? Because it's easy entry. There's nothing on them. You say, hey, I'll work with you for free. That's free labor for them. And then they'll teach you the
learn
way.
a recipe.
Exactly.
Because sometimes the stodge, they're going to throw you in prep.
Right?
Yeah. And that's prep is where you really learn most of how to make the food. And then line cook, you just spend time on the line.
Yeah.
You're going to get it because it's intense. So you're going to understand it because you're getting that live practice right away.
Do you feel like less people stodge these days?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And why do you think that is?
The industry's changed. COVID changed everything. Like cooks, when I first left culinary school, I was making $9.50 an hour, and I was working at this. It's crazy. I was working at this vegan spot. It was a 24-hour vegan restaurant, and I worked there because they literally let me make whatever I wanted, but it had to be vegan. So I was doing like, cauliflower tacos, just whatever that would emulate shrimp or, beef Wellingtons and just whatever I could do that was vegan. And I was making $9.50 an hour, and I was working from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then my girlfriend, who's my wife at the time, would want to hang out. And so I'd get off work, I'd go hang out, I'd sleep for a couple hours. I was young.
Yeah, right. You have that energy for it back then.
That was 2016.
Try doing that now, dude.
I can't. I couldn't. I got 2 kids now. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired, man. But yeah, so that was the industry really changed. People were making less money. Now, it's common for most chefs or cooks, line cooks, unexperienced cooks start off at $20 an hour. I would have killed for that.
$20 an hour.
I would have killed for that. I mean, when I was a sous chef for a great restaurant in Phoenix called Tuck Shop, working from Sam Granouch, who pretty sure is just nominated for James Beard. Good job on that. I want to call him out. He works at a restaurant in Flagstaff. I think it's called Foray, something like that. He was a really great teacher for me, but he also they only paid $15 an hour at the time, and I worked my ass off. But now it's different. It's different. People are getting paid here in the kitchen.
Dude, when I was, well, granted I wasn't working in the kitchen, but when I started off as my first job, I was making $7.50 an hour. $7.50.
Yeah.
And people complain about making $15, $20. Even now, because they're trying to, I saw an article, they're trying to raise minimum wage to like $22 or $23.
I think they just raised it. Newsom passed a bunch of new laws. I think they just raised it, especially for fast food employees or whatever. And people, I think there's people shutting their doors and like, dude,
there's no way.
Fridays closed 5 locations. Like, dude, it's just.
Did you say TGI Fridays? Do we even have a TGI Fridays here?
There used to be one downtown.
Is that why it closed down?
I don't even know if it's still there. But
I don't know either.
I know, like around the country, they're like closing doors.
Man, that's so hard. That's so rough.
But it's just the labor cost is just everything. Inflation too, man. It's just been insane.
I think it's so cool to see, like, so you started working for free, started working in a bunch of restaurants, and now you have your own restaurant, right? So let's get into Rosemarie's a little bit, like how you came up with the recipes, like just the idea behind this whole thing.
Well, we started doing pop-up dinners. That was like kind of how we raised the money to get the food trucks and all that. We started doing a pop-up concept called Festa. This was in 2019, so before COVID. My wife researched all the areas where we could have open alcohol container, and because obviously we weren't allowed to sell it, but we would definitely just have an open bar and bring our own personal booze and allow everybody to drink that. And then what we'd do is we'd sell the food, and we'd do 60-person long tables. I was big on family style, still am. And so we do Cantonese dishes with one of my best buddies, Ting Chen, who used to literally just drive down once a month and do it. Badass guy who's also a partner in the company now.
Where was this at?
So we did one at Balboa Park in front of the Botanical Gardens. That's an open alcohol container. You can have that drinks out there and chill. If you go on our website, Festa Supper Club on Instagram, you can see kind of what we used to do. And that also turned into wedding catering. Like we did a 300-person wedding in Phoenix, did one in Vegas. We started kind of doing a lot of caterings with that. The menu was great. It was like 16 courses, family style. Beautiful food, pork belly char siu. We did a spicy crab with a head fat sauce that we got all live crab and break it all down. And it was, dude.
What's a head fat sauce?
So the fat that's in the head, once you parboil the crab, the fat kind of coagulates. And when you take off the head of the crab, you have this gold. It's just this beautiful butter. And you just take that and you make a sauce with mirin, Shaoxing wine, bunch of stuff, right? And then you take that, and then when you're walking, you deep fry the crab, you put it in sweet potato starch, deep fry it, Asian style, break it all up so they can pull it apart easy. And you wok fire it with the head fat sauce.
Oh, okay. That sounds delicious.
And a little la jiu. Yeah. Or if you're Mandarin, la yao.
Okay. See, part Asian. Asian.
I am. I'm honorary.
He is Asian. Okay.
So we were doing all that stuff.
Wow.
In a very small tent. Dude, we used to set up, like at the time, I didn't have any money. We started the company with $5,000. So we just put like barbecue grills out there, the propane fryers, just coolers on coolers. My buddy Joe Galindo and his wife would come down and help everybody. When Festa happened, people took off. People took off work. It was a big production. We had a blast.
I never heard of this before.
Dude, it was, and then COVID happened.
So it started 2019. How was it the whole year in 2019? How long did it go for?
We were crushing it since March 28th. We were crushing it all year.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. We were like, okay, nobody wanted to do family style.
Right.
Nobody wanted to share plates. That was the beauty about Festa is, Vince, I'm giving you this plate. And I'm like, also, most people were like, oh, let me hear. Here's some right here.
Right.
Everybody was interacting with the food, touching the food. That energy's passed and stored and felt. And people would leave the dinners, and people that went to Festa test for this, people would leave the dinners, they had their Instagram information, business people that came usually, traded cards and all that stuff. It was really cool, man. But COVID put a squash to that. So we had to get creative. I was selling baked ziti at my house.
Wow.
I set up a tent in front of our apartment complex in OB selling burgers.
Wow.
That's when Strata kind of came about.
It's funny you bring that up because when you say like eating with your hands, stuff like I'm Filipino, right? Kumayan, you eat with your hands.
Absolutely.
You share with everybody. Banana leaves on the thing. It sounds like the same idea, right? Like you literally everyone's sharing, and you kind of get this kind of camaraderie, like companionship when you share food with people with your hands.
100%.
There's something that's like you said, energetically. It's like you create a different kind of relationship with people when you're sharing stuff with your hands, right? I don't know what it is.
Just passing even. I mean, for us, obviously, like we had silverware and things like that, and chopsticks, like for noodles. But just passing that plate to another person and then serving them, there's something about that. They don't have any obligation to you. It's kind of like they're being a good neighbor. They don't know you, but everybody's partaking and participating,
right.
And it forces people into conversation.
Yep.
And that's the best method of like getting to know people. It's just basically opening up dialogue.
Yeah.
And so we would. It was like a social experiment. It was awesome. But again, COVID killed that, and then Strata came about, which Strata, made the news in Phoenix. We were at the Pemberton downtown, and it was my. I called it Dai Pai Dong because when we first started, it kind of emulated these tents that I remember in Hong Kong, especially by like Queens Row and stuff. There's this like area where you have all these Dai Pai Dongs, like all these tents out there, old ladies making clams and brown sauce. And you go and sit in a little chair and you're eating, and it was like the best food ever.
Wow.
It just basically is a tent vendor, and street food. So we kind of turned Strata into that, where we developed like karaage chicken sandwiches. Char siu pork belly was my favorite thing. Char siu is not traditionally pork belly, but I love pork belly, so we do that. The su yok is the pork belly. But anyway, so we would definitely make sandwiches with that. We do like Shanghai fries, the Szechuan chili beef. Like,
Shanghai fries?
Oh my God.
That sounds
it's so
delicious,
Szechuan
man.
peppercorn. I call it Shanghai fry because it rhymes. But it's like this Wagyu chili we make. It's sweet and savory, and we put a bunch of red and green Szechuan peppercorns in it, so it has a little numbingness.
Wow.
We make some badass fries, the hoisin, Japanese mayo, the chili. Dressed micro pea shoots. It's amazing.
Dude, this sounds really good.
It's really good.
Is there any plans to bring this back? Do it again?
We incorporated a lot of some of these recipes we were doing in Phoenix with the food truck at the time. With Strata, we've incorporated some of that into what we're doing. For example, we just last week we did a pork belly char siu slider. That was basically a whole sandwich that we used to do. We also did Strata at Harlan Brewing up in Miramar too.
Okay.
So Strata was cool. Pemberton, it was hard for me to go from San Diego to Phoenix. I was going every Wednesday. My wife, she was pregnant. We also had at the time, my 1-year-old. And so every Wednesday I'd drive there and come home on Sunday for 2 nights with my kids.
Wow.
And it went like that for 6 months straight until it was just like, okay, we made AZ Central out there. We made some headway. We used to make our own bao. It was badass, right? And it just was too much work. And I said, okay, I found Harlan Brewing Bay Park. Let's rebrand something. I don't know if that food's gonna work in that area. Let's do sliders. Let's do burgers. Let's get Wagyu. Let's make it gourmet. Boom. Made a partnership with them. And that's how Rosemarie has kind of made its...
Came out, right?
Yep.
It started.
Yep.
And that's an easy transition right there. So you picked it. Why sliders? Why did you choose to do sliders?
Dude, because at the time, we started with full burgers, but they had a pizza vendor also there, this restaurant called Poseidon Pizza, which are great people. Nate's the owner, he's awesome. And it was more of like, I wanted to fit in with the competition and not... I knew our product was going to be a smash, and I didn't necessarily want to I didn't want to bring like a conflict between anybody, you know. So we ended up being really profitable there and famous, you know, in that space. So what I thought was, and plus the beer was so heavy.
Yeah.
What I thought was a good move was if we make sliders, because they're smaller sliders and pizza. It
kind of makes sense.
They're doing
right?
pizza.
Yeah.
I want to be a good neighbor. We're doing pizza. We're doing sliders. So that's the way we went, and I would have never thought about. I mean,
It's crazy. Every time you say like a good neighbor, I want to say State Farm is there. You keep saying it is a second time.
Yeah, State Farm is there. Yeah.
But that's awesome, and just hearing about that, because I think after having your sliders from before, dude, like you put some incredible ingredients in. It's not, people think sliders, you know, just like small patty, cheese, small bun, that's it, right? You do something extremely different.
We broke the mold.
So unique, yeah.
We broke the mold with that.
Yeah, can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. First off, I always try to tell people they're quarter pound.
Right.
Like so.
So they're not like the tiny sliders.
I mean, a real burger is a half pound. Slider, I think quarter pound's acceptable. It is big.
Yeah.
I always recommend 2 per person.
Yeah.
And they crush that. I can eat 3, but
You eat 3, you're full.
look at me.
Yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to elevate the game of it.
Yeah.
You know, any slider you get is going to be very much like everyone's like White Castle. We've had people be like, not know their sliders and come in and be like, the burger was a little bit smaller than I thought. I'm like, bro, it's a slider on the menu. Like, I mean, we are a concept of sliders.
Right.
So we weren't sure how that was going to take on, but people love it. They want to mix and match.
Yeah.
And that was my main thing out of anything else. My main thing with the sliders was creating a menu halfway. You eat a half-pound burger, even if it's the best burger in the world. Halfway through, you're like, I'm still hungry, but I'm getting bored. Why not have
Another one?
2 options?
Right.
Mix and match. I want a chicken. I want a burger, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, I think, where we really made our mark in that space.
And your sliders, they're not, you say a quarter pound, but they are loaded with other ingredients too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not just, hey, this is the burger, the patty, or the cheese, the patty, the bun. Like, you do a lot with it. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like talk about a little bit.
I mean, so my favorite things, what we do is our specials.
Okay.
Because one of the things we always did at the food truck that we are now incorporating here was with the food truck, every week we do a different special. In fact, we used to do Noodle Night every Tuesday.
Yeah, I remember talking about that.
We would sell out of 60 pounds of wok-fired noodles, no joke, in like an hour and a half. Wow. I hate Noodle Night. My customers, if they're watching right now, they're like, Nick hates Noodle Night. Because everybody asks for it still. They're like, please do your noodles.
Why don't you?
Dude, it's just so much work. There's like 18 different ingredients that go into it. It has to go in at the right time, from the lapchang to the tofu cakes, to the chili, to everything, like the mirin, the shaoxing, dude, everything. We make our own brown sauce. And
making
then
my
you get
mouth water.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. So then you get the protein, you got a fried egg on top. Dude, it's a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
But we were like, Harlan was kind of slower for the trivia nights on Tuesdays. So I was like, okay, let's do something different and turn it into Rosemarie's House of Noodles. So we did. We got a new logo. My cousin does all our logos. We made it a whole thing. Like, oh, Rosemarie's House of Noodles, let's go. We were slammed. Then we stopped doing it because it was just getting too much. And then go over to the other service and start doing sliders. But anyway.
Are you bringing that back? Can that come back? That's so, dude, you're telling me my mouth is watering. I'm like, I really need these noodles. I never knew it was here.
There's no joke. We have a solid group of regulars, which I'm so blessed to have. They've become our family, which is kind of like our whole point of Rosemarie's, right? The house becomes a home for you. And everybody that comes in here, they're like, hey, are you gonna do Noodle Night again? I'm like, maybe, but that's what our wine dinners are about. Okay. Like we have a wine dinner coming up on February 25th, and it's like, 8 courses, all this stuff. But
wait, are you gonna do noodles on it?
No, I did noodles last wine dinner.
When was that? They do it once a month. How often do you do that?
Once a month.
Okay, so you just had your wine dinner.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what 8 course? Tell me about this. What is this about?
So this is actually Chef Jordan's menu that he wrote on this one. So I can kind of let him talk to you about that. But it's a beautiful menu. There's a strawberry arugula salad with a pistachio crumble. There's he's doing short rib. with delicata squash and there's a big menu. It's a big menu. If you've seen our last Instagram post, we threw the menu up there. But in regards to the noodles, not going to be there. Noodles aren't going to be there on that one. But going back to the specials, the salmon that we're doing, the pan-seared this last couple weeks, we did this pan-seared salmon with herb creme fraiche and a dollop of caviar. It was dude, it was amazing. Wow. So just doing, you're right, a lot of ingredients in the bun.
How do you come up with these ingredients, like these ideas, even your sliders? Because
we're hungry.
Different ones, man.
We're hungry. We're hungry. I mean, drawing influence from a lot of just your past. I mean, just like last week's was the char siu pork belly. Just loving that flavor of char siu sauce.
Awesome.
Loving pork belly. Just kind of having that and then being like, oh, I need some crunch. Okay, crispy shallots. Oh, I need, I need a nice cold slaw on top. Just making an Asian slaw like with Thai basil. Things like that. Right. Just kind of messing around.
Wow. Okay.
Just messing around.
What was your very first slider that you made here? That you came up with?
Little Sal.
And what's in that one?
It's a little bit over a 2-hour bacon whiskey sauce, not jam. It's a sauce.
What's the difference?
A jam is like it's jammy. Yeah, it's like cooked down a lot more. We make this sauce that's kind of loose and we pour it over the burger, so it's a sauce.
Okay.
And it's really good. It's on a bed of arugula with Wagyu, jack cheese, GP mayo. That was our first one. It's definitely our best seller. That and the Rosie Mac.
Rosie Mac's is your classic.
It's our classic double Wagyu.
Yeah.
No lettuce, no tomato.
Right.
We're not. Look, where I come from, especially in Texas, you either get a salad or you're gonna get a fucking burger. All right. I want a fucking burger, baby. I want it to fall apart.
Right.
That's it. I want it to be delicious, fall apart. Then we do house special sauce on that. It's good. So,
wow, man. One of the ones I want to talk about is what is it called? Your Munchies. It's Little Munchies, right?
Marvelous Munchies.
Today it's Marvelous Munchies, bro. Today. I love that. And tell me what's in that, because I've had that before. Can't remember exactly what it was. I just remember thinking about it. I'm like,
chicken thigh. We only use chicken thigh here.
Okay.
If you want chicken breast, like I care about you, I love you, get my chicken poppers. Don't order a chicken sandwich.
Okay.
Chicken thigh is the juiciest part. Dude, it's perfect in every way. So we marinate the chicken thigh, we brine it, all that stuff. We dredge it. We have our Cajun seasoning we use. We fry it. We make a honey buffalo sauce. We dip that. We do a ranch drizzle, and then we get a really good blue cheese for the bottom.
See, and that's what's crazy, because I don't usually like blue cheese, but it had that, and it's not. And the thing is, because usually it's overwhelming, right? It's too much. But in that slider specifically, I was like, it really, really tastes good with everything else, right?
There was a restaurant I used to work for a long time ago when I was a kid, like in high school. This guy Eddie Carasati, who passed away, rest in peace, but he used to have this restaurant, Carasati's, big Italian guy from Jersey. And he made some of the best honey buffalo wings I ever had.
Really?
And people that are listening to this that are my family, they know we used to go to Carasati's. Like even when I left for the Army, everybody did the party at Carasati's. And their wings, their honey buffalo wings were the best. And we dip them in a blue cheese sauce. And I said, fuck, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make that whole thing. But like on a sandwich. Talk about
Is it like a sweet and like tart thing going on? Because the blue cheese is like very, I can't even describe the flavor, right?
Dude,
like
it's pungent. It's got saltiness. We had to dial it down a little bit because at first it was kind of overly salty, just so I like a lot of blue cheese, but so we kind of found the right amount to put on, and now everything's very balanced with it. We added a little more honey to the sauce, and so now it's very balanced.
Wow, man.
It stays crunchy the whole way.
No, that's what I love. Everything tastes really good, and like you're saying, 2 sliders is enough, because if you get 3, you're full. Like you're over the top full, and I love how you can mix and match all of these different options you get.
I see a lot of guys crushing 3.
I don't know, man.
I mean, not the Rosie Mac. If you get a Rosie Mac and something else, you're done. Okay, you're done. Don't even get fries. That's another thing. The fries have been like kind of our claim to fame here. Which nobody really does dress fries the way we do it.
How do you guys do it?
So we have an elote fry and then a blue cheese bacon fry. Sometimes we run fry specials too. Like recently we had a Korean bulgogi fry with a cracked egg and some pickled cabbage, stuff like that. But Like the elote fry is very good. Gets a house-made, all our stuff's house-made, chipotle aioli. You get the roasted corn that we roast in here. You get the cotija cheese. We do pickled peppers. We put pickled veg on there with microgreens. It's really good.
That sounds
We're
awesome.
gonna make you one, so you can try it.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love how well you blend other cultures into the food here, right?
That's the point.
Because you think Rosemaries, you think sliders, it's just basic sliders, that's it.
Yeah.
But the fact you do Asian, you said elote now. And then, because like we're San Diego, we're a blend of a lot of cultures here. So like coming up, like I said earlier about talking about how you come up with your burgers, is it just you doing these, or do you like lean on your other people here? Like how do you do
Actually, it's kind of cool. I mean, obviously I created all the menu, but I let our customers kind of help our menu evolve. And I think that's been a true success story for us, because like our customers becoming regulars and then family, which is like literally our whole business plan. Especially in Bay Park with the food truck, people would make little ideas like, hey, like, maybe toss the arugula in some vinegar for the sal, because the sal's super rich. And I thought about it. I'm like, I tried it. And I'm like, oh, that's really good. We'll do, just things like that. Like just hearing feedback, recognizing feedback that really doesn't matter, and then trying the feedback that you catch on to really develops a solid core menu.
That's awesome.
And then also keeps those regulars engaged.
Yeah. It makes people want to come back too, right?
Yeah.
Like they feel like they're a part of you now. So
Right.
it's like a good way to get people to come back. That's awesome.
Like our Nashville Hot is definitely one of our best sandwiches. I'm literally going to claim that I have the best Nashville Hot in San Diego. Oh yeah. Oh dude. Nobody does what I do with the Nashville Hot.
Man.
And I earned it. I learned. I
Yeah.
went there and I learned. I know the history of the.
You went to Nashville just to learn about it?
I know the history of it. I know everything about it.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Nothing?
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much, to be honest, but
Okay.
I'm just going to say it starts with duck fat.
Oh.
Yeah, and watch, you're going to see everybody starting to use duck fat. But yeah,
From the spot.
duck fat is, duck fat is my thing. My thing that we do. And also, obviously we have the cayenne, the brown sugar, we have that blend, but we add a little bit of extra kind of some things that make it a little bit have more depth.
Okay.
And you heat up the duck fat, 350, put it in some, it's a dry rub. That's how it started. You put it in the dry rub, permeate it, whisk it up, and then you dip the chicken in.
Right.
And that's all we do for ours, with a little bit of Kewpie mayo and some pickles. Then we dust it, just like probably everybody else does.
There you see
a lot of people, dude, everybody, and they all use fryer oil. They use fryer oil, they take it out of the fryer, and then we don't do that, okay? It costs a lot of money to do it the way I do it, but it is a decadent, is beautiful sandwich. The duck fat is rich, but it holds onto that fry really well, so it stays crunchy the whole time it's still oil. So that's how we've done it. I also do a curry version that I'm pretty sure no one's ever done before.
Okay.
I think I'm not a very smart person, but I literally think I invented the Bombay Hot.
Oh my gosh.
I should get a Nobel Peace Prize.
You should, huh?
And then I'm not good at anything else, but this, dude, the Bombay Hot, since it's a dry rub, we did our own curry dry rub. And then we do the duck fat with brown sugar.
That's the green one, right?
Cinnamon. It's like a yellowish.
Yellow, okay.
No, we don't have a green one.
I thought it was like yellow. Is it yellow, green?
We don't have any green. We don't have any green food here.
I'm just trying to think.
Yeah.
Green egg is in half.
Yeah, it's. I don't. You actually, the first time in the food truck, you didn't try this one.
I didn't?
No.
Oh,
We're gonna have you try this
Okay.
one.
Oh, cool.
It's a fried piece of chicken. Again, same method of how we're making this sauce.
Okay.
It's just a curry version of that.
Wow.
And it's not even really spicy, but Bombay Hot was a play on Nashville Hot.
Okay.
It's actually, if people don't want spice, I always say go for the Bombay Hot, because it's more cinnamon and brown sugar and curry and garam masala.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to talk about, since you started as a food truck, right, and got a brick and mortar right here, I think there's a lot of people out there that are kind of wondering how you made that transition, how you made this kind of work for you. Do you still have the food truck in Bay Park? Is it still there?
I sold that one.
Okay.
But I have our other food truck that we rebranded, Rosemarie's, that we used to use in Phoenix.
Okay.
It's a 19-foot mobile kitchen. It's awesome.
Is that the one in Phoenix, you said?
No, we have it here. So we do all the catering for Selling Sunset, the Oppenheim group, Jason and Brett Oppenheim, who have been amazing partners with us. And we've fell in love with all of their team. In fact, I'm buying a house with Alexandra right now, one of the cast members. She's amazing. So they become really close with us, and like I'm going to LA in a couple weeks to do a bunch of parties for them. And
that's awesome.
So it's been an honor working with them. It's just the food truck game makes me tired.
Yeah. right. I hear that a lot, man. Yeah.
Vince, like I am, like you were talking like just a minute ago. I was like, dude, like sometimes if people were to ask me if I would do it again from tent to truck to restaurant, they're like, oh, Nick, would you do it all over again? I don't know if I'd say yes. It was that much work.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, the majority of the time, where I was running the food truck by myself.
Wow.
I got fortunate with my partners.
Yeah.
Like my best friend from the Army, Ray, and my best friend, Preston, and Ting, and good friends like Neil and my best friend, Devin, and Gabe, right? All these people believed in us in the beginning and helped support that mission.
That's awesome.
But as far as being a workhorse, you have to do the majority of that. Like to your questions, what would you say to people? You know, it's hard. I would say be prepared to work hard and work smart more than anything. Like create an image for yourself that you can get behind. That's just like what you do in your line of work. It's really important to create branding and have the food look well. But not only that, if you're going to capture the food and you're going to have an incredible photographer who I believe is one of the best in San Diego, Gabe Alvor, take your photos, right? That food better match that.
Right.
That food better match it. And I have
look good, taste good.
Dude, that's why we won Yelp Top 100 in the country, because people are coming in writing reviews. The food looks like the photos. Oh my God, Nick made us feel like we'd known him for years. Oh my gosh, Sadie, Kat, all these players made us feel like we were home. Whether they're from Boston, Pennsylvania, it doesn't matter, San Diego, and that's been our true success story since we started from the beginning. It's about nurturing relationships, making sure the food looks like the photos, and that's how we've been able to keep our customers.
Dude, that was a lot of good gems right there, because basically food looks good and tastes good, right? That's one thing. Customer service, and you said building those relationships, because I think a lot of people, I get hit up by a lot of restaurants, other people saying, hey, can you help me grow? How do I grow? All of these things, right? Social media, business, whatever. But at the same time, what they don't understand is that, first of all, this takes time, right? Whatever you're doing, whatever you're building takes time. So you have to be patient. Second of all, you have to have all those things lined up. If you don't have it lined up, people are going to come in, oh, your food looks great, but the server's and that's enough to push people away. I don't want to deal with those people's, those attitudes, you know?
People are already picking up. They're spending a good amount of money at any restaurant. Even McDonald's now, you go for a quarter pounder, which is what we sell. It's like almost $9. You know what I mean? So the inflation is everybody's out. They're thinking about these things. Our goal, and you know, humans have an error rate, but our goal is every customer that comes in, we want them to leave like they've had the best experience. And sometimes that cannot be taught. Sometimes that, a lot of people tell us about myself, and again, I'm not good at many things. This is one thing I'm good at, is connecting with people. I love genuinely. It's nature.
It's in you.
It's nature. You can't teach that. And so finding like-minded people in your organization will really trickle down. It's top down. And I've seen restaurants that were amazing food, amazing restaurants. They didn't have that mentality. And they failed. So we're in it for the long haul. We're gonna eventually open more locations, probably sooner than later. And I'm gonna have to be at a lot of them a lot of the times. That's the industry. My wife sacrificed so much. My kids sacrificed without seeing me. Every chef singing the same song right now. You know, and that's it.
If someone saw this video first time they come here, what do you recommend them to try?
That's it. A lot of people ask me that, and I'm like, I don't know. They're all like my little babies, and I love them equally. It really depends on your mood, and that's why I wrote the menu. You have your curry, you have your Korean flavor with the bulgogi sauce. You have you know, your classic American rosy mac. So it depends. I always say, definitely don't leave without trying a spicy elote fry. It's not that spicy. It's got chipotle aioli. And then the Rosy Mac is a big, Rosy Mac and Nashville Hot and the Little Cell. Those three are what tell the rest of the world, hey, Rosemary's here to fucking get serious.
Right.
Like, we are here for business.
Yeah.
On those sandwiches.
Dude, I love that. I love that. And especially because I think what makes you so different are just your sliders, your food. I think that's just, it still stands out amongst everybody else here in San Diego. And I think and I'm glad that you guys got the top 100 because you guys stay true to what you got because it's incredible.
Thank you.
So tell everybody else, how can they find you? How can they follow you? All of that good stuff.
Yeah. You can find us on our website, rosemarieburgers.com. But really Instagram's kind of my favorite vehicle of all the information. Also, we've been written up in San Diego Mag a lot. I wanted to say like that to be real. San Diego Mag, Troy Johnson's my hero, and so are you
Everybody
guys.
else is. Everybody else.
He's a mentor,
He's cool.
right?
Yeah.
And his food knowledge is just blows your mind.
Yeah.
Him reviewing us for top 20 best new restaurants in San Diego was one of my highest. It sounds silly, it's one of my highest lifetime achievements.
That's awesome, man.
He is the nicest person I've ever met, and just wanted to say, I know Yelp Top 100, it's amazing. I'm super honored, but having someone local who's also a culinarian, Iron Chef judge, and just him recognizing what we're doing, to me is just like, it's an honor.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. You didn't mention your handle. What's your handle for Instagram?
Oh, Rosemarie's Burgers.
Rosemary's Burgers. Oh, an address. Say what address.
Address 3852 Mission Boulevard.
Right by the ocean.
That's
so
right.
you can literally smell the ocean.
You can smell
from this restaurant.
Smells great.
Yeah, it smells amazing. I love it. Well, Nick, thank you so much, man.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate the time, man. Thank you.
Hell yeah, brother.